everyone, and welcome back to my channel. As usual, I forgot to film an intro to this video, but today we are just going to be doing a kind of grungy, more fall-inspired makeup tutorial. So yeah, let's just get started. So to start off, I'm going to put some tape on my eyes, and I'm just putting it on the back of my hand first, that way it's not too sticky, and then I am just placing that on my eyeballs, or close to them. And then for the eyes today, we are going to be using 100% of the Jaclyn Hill palette. That's all I'm going to be using for eyeshadows. So I'm going to start with taking this creamsicle shade on this fluffy brush right here, and I'm going to be blending that into the crease pretty far out. I don't know all the shades in the palette, but I know that we are going to be taking the shade Pukey on a slightly smaller fluffy brush, and I'm going to be blending that about halfway into my crease and also a little bit further down onto my eyelid. With that same brush, I'm dipping into these two red, kind of rusty colored shades, and I'm going to be running those closer to line of the tape and also kind of into the middle of my eye a little bit. And then I'm going to be taking a denser, smaller brush and running those same colors really close to the edge of the tape. Then I'm taking another fluffy brush with that first orange shade we used, and I'm just going to be buffing that through the crease real quick just to blend everything out and make sure that that color really shows. Then I'm taking that Pukey shade and I'm going to be running that all over my eyelid with my finger. And then we get to take the tape off, and man, that does feel really weird. I haven't done that in quite a while. But then I'm going to be just doing a quick little wing. It was really hard to do this while the camera was watching me, so I ended up turning it off and finishing the other side. And I also threw on some lashes. They are the Sonia Kashuk lashes in the shade 635, I believe. This is the Cover FX blurring primer, and I'm just working to really press that into my pores real quick before going in with the Catrice beautifying primer, and I'm going to be just putting that on my cheeks. That way the foundations I use are not too matte looking. For foundation, I'm going to be using the Milani Conceal and Perfect and the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation, and I'm just going to be mixing the two of them on the back of my hand and then dotting them all over my face, and I'm blending it out with the Japonesque beauty sponge. I'm going to be mixing the Tarte Shape Tape with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer because it's just a little bit too dark for me, and also this Tarte Shape Tape is a bit too drying. So I'm going to be mixing those two under my eyes, and also I'm adding the Tarte Shape Tape just on the high points of my face to add a little bit more highlight and blending those out. I'm going to do a little bit of a bake with the RCMA No Color Powder just right underneath my eyes and also around my nose and chin, because that's where my foundation tends to break up the most. But then to set the rest of my face, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Powder, and I'm taking this Real Technique sponge and I'm just kind of pressing it into my skin before kind of buffing it all over my face. And then I use that same brush to just wipe away the bake. I'm taking a kind of flat, fluffy brush with that orange shade again, and I'm going to be running that all over my eyes and just really smoking it out before going in with a flat brush. This one is from Morphe, and I'm taking this dark green, kind of juniper looking shade, I don't really know what it's called, and I'm just pressing that along my lower lash line. Then I'm taking that fluffy brush again that we used for the orange shade at the end, and I'm running it into that red shade real quick and just using that to buff it out. Then with a small pencil brush, I'm dipping into the lightest shade of the palette to highlight my inner corner and my brow bone. For mascara, I'm using the Butter London Double Decker Lashes Mascara. This stuff is really, really good, and you can definitely build it up, but I didn't care too much to today, so I just kind of left it how it was. But yeah, it is a really wonderful mascara. I'm also going to take a Wet n Wild nude pencil and run that on my waterline just to make my eyes pop just a little bit more. This is the Wet n Wild Dolce de Leche palette, and I'm just using this as my contour and bronzer today. Not doing anything too crazy, just running it along my cheekbones, jawline, forehead, etc., etc., etc. I'm also taking a little eyeshadow brush from e.l.f. and I'm going to be just using that same contour shade to try and contour my nose just a little bit. I never really know what I'm doing. And also I'm running it along my lower lip just to make it look a little bit fuller. This is the BH Cosmetics 10 Color Nude Blush Palette, and I'm just taking a really, really light shade and just focusing that on the higher portion of my cheekbones, if that makes sense. And then, you know the drill, the BH Cosmetics Spotlight Highlighting Palette is the best ever. I'm taking the shade Glow, which is the golden shade, running that along my upper cheekbones and down my nose and all of that good stuff. Then I just take my beauty blender and just bounce it all over just to make sure everything's nice and blended before using a setting spray. And then the star of the show is probably this liquid lipstick from Ofra in the shade Verona, and I don't usually wear dark lips, but I figured for the sake of the video, why not? And then I'm pretty much just figuring out what to do with my hair as always, but this is the completed look. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe before you leave, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye!